Hello, this is the Epic Atheist. I haven't made a video in a while, but I've been talking to somebody at work, and he thinks he can convert me, and I thought that was cute. But he inspired me to make this video because he's talking to me about the Bible and thinking he can tell me about the Bible and convince me that it's correct. And it got me thinking about why eyewitness testimony, which he did bring up, is one of the worst type of testimonies. And I'm going to tell you a good example. Now, I'm going to use some dates. They might be somewhat wrong. I hope to have factual information below to actually give you the actual information, more accurate information. But I don't want to look up anything. I know the rough idea. So if these are wrong, they're still close enough. So we all know the story of the Titanic. This is about the Titanic. And it's nothing to do with Noah's Ark, believe it or not. So the Titanic happened a little bit over 100 years ago. Would you believe me if I told you that it's actually very recent, in the lifetime of most people, that we know that it broke into multiple pieces? There's actually 3, but most people probably think it was 2. We're not going to get into that. And that's not a joke. When the Titanic sank, there was a little girl that said it broke into 2 pieces. All the adults said that she was wrong, that she was just like frightened, that she didn't know what actually happened, and that she was just a little girl who came up with this fantastical story. But no, the ship just sank. It just sank into the water like most ships did. It didn't break into multiple pieces. And for literally 70 years, we believed that to be true. We didn't think it broke into multiple pieces. If you go watch movies back in the day, it just sank. It didn't break into multiple pieces because that was the known fact. Then, I believe in the 80s, we actually went down in the ocean and we found the Titanic. And we found out that it broke into multiple pieces. So now in every movie and every representation, and I think the iconic 1997 movie Titanic, I think that one also has some inaccuracies. Other than the story is very, very wrong. But I think that might also have some inaccuracies because we know more about the Titanic today than we knew about it in 1912. That's not a joke. That's because we know scientific evidence. We can then go to the pieces. We can figure out how they would have broken. We can use mapping data. We can use technology to know more accurate things today than we did on the day that it sank because we're not using eyewitness testimony. We're not looking at our eyes and going and remembering a traumatic event through witnessing it, because that's a horrible way to remember one. We're actually going to the site, we're looking at the pieces, we're looking at the little data, we're looking at actual information that is not subjectable, that is not what you're remembering, it cannot be clouded or differed. It's very, very, very accurate. And this goes to the larger point about the Bible. Why should I believe text that was written 40 years after Jesus, I'm supposed to believe that this eyewitness testimony is accurate when literally eyewitness testimony of days after an event is not accurate? Like, that's ridiculous. And I don't even have the eyewitness testimony. With the Titanic, I could have met somebody who actually was on the Titanic. With Jesus, I have stories written in a book. And I have to take those stories and believe that not only were they written down 40 years after he died, but they were written down accurately. And people will say, well, there's a bunch of people that saw Jesus. Well, no, we don't know how many people actually met Jesus. We don't even know if he existed theoretically. So eyewitness testimony is horrible. And it's even worse when it's written a while after the event. So yeah, no, I don't. No, a claim doesn't do anything for me. And as I've said, this is a very good way of showing how eyewitness testimony isn't very good. I will have links below kind of detailing more about the story because I find it fascinating. I don't think a lot of people know this. And it does show a very interesting thing. So this was the Epic Atheist. Please leave a comment below, tell me what you think, and I'll be back.